You know, I will say I've been so impressed with Saplo's play at this
All
event.
right, pull it together, Sean.
Yes, absolutely. Now Saplo crushes Huck and Hero defeats Chef, so that means that now Saplo is up against Hero for another epic PvP. I mean, this really looks like Saplo could get very far in this tournament. Right now, we're going to be bringing you Nerchio versus MaNa.
And it's going to be absolutely incredible. The two polls, I was talking to MaNa last night. He was very upset to be playing against his countrymen in the first round, or the first set of the bracket here. I guess first round of the round of 16 for them. But in spite of that, these guys, the best representatives of Polish StarCraft that there are, in my opinion. MaNa, one of the strongest Protoss players outside of Korea that there is. Nerchio has been just on a tear lately. Anything could happen here.
I mean, the big theme that I'm interested to see in MaNa's play is how patient he is. That's something that really helped him in Dreamhack Winter. I really felt like in the early days of SC2, people weren't patient enough. They'd get overexcited, try to attack too much. But MaNa was so good at holding calm. He uses hold position to a huge excess to be able to defend appropriately in a lot of circumstances. However, I really feel like lately the way Protoss needs to defeat Zerg is by being hyper-aggressive with Warp Prisms, Zealots, moving out in opposite directions, picking off expansions. I think MaNa's passivity could come back to haunt him.
Possibly. Yes. Oh, yes, I agree. For some reason, I thought you said Nerchio. I was like, wait, Nerchio is not very passive. He's a very aggressive player.
Yeah, Nerchio is really aggressive. I think this could work out reasonably for him, but still, I really think MaNa needs to kick it up into high gear.
Yeah. First map will be Daybreak, which is, we've been seeing some pretty good games here. Two-player map, but it's a pretty large two-player map with just 3 paths through the center, fairly narrow. And every time we make eye contact, you grin, and I almost lose it. So anyway, the loading screen has come and gone, and we are now looking at the bottom left-hand corner of Daybreak at the red Protoss player Mouse Sports MaNa.
And in the top right on team Acer.
Acer.
Nerchio. And, I've been really, really excited ever since Nerchio actually selected the Zerg race as his main because he started as random, and it was during a time when everyone was saying Zerg can't win. Of the top 16, you'd maybe have 3 or 4 Zergs. And Nerchio said, no, Zerg is the right race for me. And there really has not been much patching on Zerg since he ended up doing that race pick. So I'm really excited to see him just decide that it is way up his alley. Wasn't trying to go for any sort of comfortable wins in tournaments.
Nerchio is so good that he switched to Zerg and fixed the race by himself. He's been playing a lot of Mutalisks in ZVP recently, Day 9, and I do think Muta is quite good in this matchup. There was if we look at the life of StarCraft 2, in the beginning, Protoss was like, oh my god, how the hell do we win against Muta?
Oh, yeah.
And then I think it was actually Tyler who was the first player to throw down a 6-gate in a big tournament. And he's like, check out this timing, and then that timing kind of single-handedly phased out Mutalisk play. But as time went on, Zergs have learned, hey, I can rely on static defenses. I can rely on things like you can have that Roach Warren down, so you can just hammer out Roaches in the event of a 6-gate, and then if it doesn't come, you can go Mutas anyway. So we're seeing a bit of a resurgence of that Mutalisk style of play, and I love the way Nerchio does it. He does it as well as anybody.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point about the 6-gate popping up. I still remember when Tyler did that in his match against Idra in the beta. It was a big show match and just getting a huge number of units, and Idra didn't really have an answer to it. But I do think that a lot of players are starting to discover that it's kind of momentum-y against Mutalisk. You need to hold and hold and hold and hold and hold and hold, and the instant, oh, yes, please. Oh, here it comes. Will he do the cancel and then build the evolution chamber? Or is he actually just going to let this finish? And there it is. He gets the Evo chamber down, and MaNa is in a rough spot. He actually has to build a cannon just to kill off this Evo chamber. Oh my god, that is so brilliant. This is so awesome.
What a pickle that MaNa's going to find himself in here. Nerchio making 4 lings, rallying them straight across to his opponent's base as if he might want to try to line the lings up with the broodlings that are going to pop out of this Evo chamber.
I
would like that play a lot.
Oh my god, it looks like players are going to build buildings anywhere but in their own bases. We have a Zerg evolution chamber at this base. We have a pylon at that one, and here comes Nerchio pulling it on back, picking off the pylon. But again, 6 Zerglings, very uncommon to get 6 lings out at this point in time.
I really think it's because he wants to get into the main base here, and he's got a pretty good timing worked out. The Evo chamber starting to go down.
Oh,
very
there's a
smart
cybernetics
play.
core popping down right now, and it looks like he is trying to work his way to pick down the cybernetics core, trying to micro back, and pop goes everything.
Pop goes the everything. And now we've got interesting situation. This is just like a delayed fast expand against a delayed fast expand, more or less. It was a 15 spawning pool for Nerchio, getting his hatch down at like 21 supply because of that pylon block. See a little bit of a probe scout coming out across the bottom of the map here. But MaNa, not really missing a beat in spite of that block, just goes ahead and throws down his Nexus as soon as he gets that Evo chamber out of the way. Double expand for Nerchio.
Ooh, I'm a little bit leery of this because, I mean, MaNa built his gateway early on, which is pretty normal. It allows you to get your cybernetics core up early and begin teching with your expansion. But then he just straight built the core before the Nexus. That's another way of saying I'm going to have my tech up real fast, dear Zerg guy.
Yeah.
So that could very much so mean that he's just going to go straight for 4-game. I mean, at this point in time, I don't think Nerchio even knows if there's an expansion. Incidentally, Nerchio is going to be comfortable in this spot, but I feel like that was a little bit of a risk.
Yeah, it's going to work out okay for Nerchio. MaNa could have done something like make Chrono Boost out 2 or 3 Stalkers, and that would have been really, really problematic for Nerchio as he's just now taking his first gases. Link speed ages away. But the way it's going to play out, MaNa's making a sentry, and now he's going to make a Zealot, he's going to make a second cannon. He's playing very, very safely, Day9, playing very, very defensively. And that's going to give Nerchio room to saturate this third base.
I'm kind of excited to see what MaNa has coming in store. I mean, this timing on the +1 is one of the hardest things to land properly. Sort of a common just mistake I think a lot of Protoss players do is that they just arbitrarily chrono boost any important upgrade. If it's range for Colossus, obviously going to chrono boost it as much as possible, but they never say it. They never ask themselves something like, do I need range that quickly? Maybe I should chrono boost Colossus so I can have more Colossi when my range is finished. These sorts of questions. So this timing of this +1 Forge, we're seeing no chrono boost on it. Makes me wonder if MaNa does have some sort of 5-6 gate plan. Oh, this pylon I think would really be a strong indicator that there's going to be a big warp gate push coming up for MaNa.
I can't wait to see myself. We do see MaNa poking around with this single Zealot. He's going to try and get a scout of this 3 o'clock expansion, but nope, not going to happen. Getting surrounded by Zerglings. Nerchio immediately throwing down lots and lots of drones, getting his Ling speed. No layer just yet for Nerchio, but he's got well over 100 gas, so he could start. He's mining a ton of gas to just be on layer tech.
You know, I do think that a transition to some kind of Infestor at this point in time would be reasonable for Nerchio. Going for the Ling speed Infestor is just such a great play on this map. Ooh, man, MaNa.
So you said you liked gateway pushes, Day9.
Dude, I do. Gateway pushes just tickle my fancy in oh so many great ways. Look at that, 44 probes. Ordinarily, you would think, oh man, got a chrono boost out the warp gate, got a chrono boost to +1, but the most important aspect of a 6-gate style push is probes. If you do not have enough probes, suddenly things just stop happening. And look at this little fancy touch. Which one of these is it? There it is. There's the Twilight Council coming up. Look at that. Look at that timing. Right as Twilight Council finishes, insta +2,
wow.
Insta blank MaNa. He gets it.
He does. He certainly gets it, Day9. We're going to see a +2 Blink Stalker. Well, I don't want to call it an all-in, but we're going to see some heavy aggression off of 6 gateways and a lot of Stalkers.
What's so great is that with MaNa having chrono boosted out so many probes, he's going to be in absolutely excellent condition to transition into Templar, into Dark Templar, any sort of later tech. It's so easy to get caught up in a 6-gate with no follow-up transition. And ooh, just like you were saying, look at that fast Spire.
Yep, Nerchio really favoring this playstyle, and I think MaNa knows it, and I feel like his build order choice is a bit of a... He's metagaming Nerchio some. He's going to have Blink in plenty of time for mutas. He's going to have the option to apply all sorts of pressure, which is, again, really good against mutas. Nerchio's going to make some roaches first, though, so he's going to be reasonably safe here.
Oh, wow.
Ouch,
Very
ouch.
excellent.
Big mega
fields.
ouch.
Absolutely excellent force fields by MaNa. We've been seeing quite a bit of hesitation from pretty much all Protosses in this matchup with those force fields, but not MaNa. Planting them down spot on. I'm just so excited to see the caliber of play from both of these players. So funny to think it began with the Pylon block and Evolution Chamber block, and we're now hitting the 11-minute mark, and both players pretty much are not making any mistakes.
Robo finishing up as well for MaNa, so he will have an observer with this push. Means he'll be able to blink up into Nerchio's main base. Oh, Stalker getting surrounded and killed there. Blink was just seconds away from finishing, but Nerchio does manage to snipe off one of those Stalkers very skillfully. third base going down for MaNa. Look how
Love
awesome he is.
Love it, love it, love
He
it.
doesn't just push with +2 and go all in. He expands, and then he's going to push with +2 and a lot of stalkers.
I'm most excited to see. Look at that active Forge. Literally since the second it started getting the +1 upgrade, it has not spent a moment not upgrading. Oh, MaNa. He might have to cancel this one, and it looks like absolutely not. Blinking up to pick off every little Zergling he can. Look at that unit's lost tab. Very little from both sides, but it looks like Nerchio does have a couple of roaches in position.
And this is the very aggressive playstyle that Nerchio is known for. He's got 7 mutas out. Roaches and Lings going to be threatening the 3 o'clock base. The mutas are probably going to go right down to the main. They're going to fly past an observer, though, so MaNa knows exactly what. Look at that observer turning around as if to say, oh, look, mutas. I saw them. And MaNa already very expertly splitting off some stock. Oh, he's blocking himself out with a probe on hold position. That's annoying.
Oh, and it looks like, oh, Nerchio trying to go for the split, but look at the answer that MaNa has, completely denying both attacks simultaneously. Unbelievable play by MaNa. I mean, a lot of people consider GSL, all those games, to really be the tip-top class, but I mean, we are clearly seeing why this is the European Championship. These players playing spot on, but the most, well, this pylon does have a name.
The old Artosis pylon going down there.
I wasn't going to say it because Dan is my friend.
That's okay.
But that was the most Artosis pylonage that has ever been landed. I do think he does need to eventually get that pylon supporting that Twilight Council as well.
Yep, he's going to want that charge upgrade eventually, I would think. In the meantime, Nerchio taking a 4th base. In spite of the fact that MaNa's defending like perfectly, Nerchio's he's still got the momentum, Dana. He's setting the pace for this game. He's being the aggressor. He's keeping MaNa holed up in his base, buying himself time to expand all over the place. He's up to 69 drones. Pretty healthy economy, and a Baneling nest going down.
Oh, now that's an interesting transition, Mr. Bitter.
Isn't it, though?
Ooh, we see a couple more roaches from Nerchio trying to poke in as the Mutalisks try to hit from the backside. I mean, MaNa just always has an answer. Nerchio trying to lose as little as possible, but still taking some substantial losses. I mean, look at the defense from MaNa, demonstrated by that unit's loss tab. Another nice little defense set up here by MaNa. But I do think that over time, Nerchio's starting to realize, man, this kind of aggression is not working. I need some hard-hitting units. Going to go ahead and get those Banelings up, and I think that, you know, going for Baneling drop plus Speed Overlord, doing the good old carpet bombing, definitely going to be a strong play in the late game.
Certainly a possibility. I also see the Infestation pick going down as if Nerchio wants to work up towards Hive. Also interesting is the fact that he's opting for the Carapace upgrade versus the attack upgrade on his mutas.
Yeah, this is an interesting maneuver. I personally have been favoring the attack upgrade straight up with these Mutalisks, but I saw one player do it earlier. Who was it? I believe it was Sheth got the Mutalisk upgrade. We definitely saw it happen.
We were talking about it yesterday.
Yeah.
And you know, and in theory, you know, mutas aren't supposed to take damage. They're just supposed to be a mobile harassing force. You know, so you want to be doing more damage on top of that. By getting that Carapace upgrade, Nerchio is saying, I want to fight heads up with my mutas, and I want them to take a few more hits. So, I don't know. I'm not really sure where I stand on this. Typically, I also favor attack upgrades.
And there it looks like a target fire directly onto the Forge. He does manage to take it out, but at what cost? He has delayed just a single armor upgrade, and God, MaNa is just terrifying.
Yep. So on top of things with these Stalkers, he's got his Blink Stalkers on actually just a single control group. So he's actually boxing and blinking around doing it that way. That's very impressive. Oh, another great blink. A few mutas is going to go down immediately. This Observer is just all over the Mutaflock. I kind of, oh, look at that. Observer gets picked off now, so no more map hacks for MaNa.
Yeah, MaNa now playing completely in the dark, save for this one single Observer that is close by with old rally points. Nerchio again. Nerchio suffers some substantial Mutalisk losses. Look at the units lost tab. Nerchio doing the sort of harassment that would completely decimate your average bear.
Yes, indeed.
But MaNa is not a bear at all. He's actually a human being who is good at making decisions. But this could be the first big mistake from MaNa of the game. Could get these units caught out of position. It looks like MaNa will lose this one top left location. Nerchio, despite all his losses, taking more expansions, getting higher and higher up in that tech path.
MaNa's playstyle is impressing me a lot, Day 9. We've been seeing a lot of Naniwa's play, and he's been favoring 2-base play into whatever. MaNa's showing us that you can make it work with the exact opposite of that, playing a very, very macro-oriented style. He was working on a 4th, but that did get denied. But it looks like he has a very, very secure 3 bases. High Templar already in play. Is that Storm upgrade done? It is indeed. So High Templar Blink Stalker with some Immortal support. This is a very, very scary Protoss army.
Ultralisks plopping down right now. I really wish players would stop forgetting the free Zergling damage upgrade. Looks like now splitting some Zerglings up. Oh my god, look at the number of photon cannons MaNa is placing down at this expansion, trying to rush on in. There's the Storm.
Great Storm going down.
Takes down a couple of his own probes, but with that whole position, Mutalisks in the main, and it looks like, oh no, Nerchio did pick off the 2 High Templar that were in the main. Finally, one of these countless harass attempts has been shut down.
Yeah, Nerchio finally doing a little bit of damage, kill some Stalkers, kill some probes. I got 50 Lings and 26 Banelings on the way for Nerchio. Going to try to pick off the pylons powering these gateways as well.
But a huge counter push from MaNa, Mr. Bitter. This is looking very, very grim for Nerchio's expansions, but it looks like MaNa has just sacrificed his main. He has Templar there loaded up. The bottom right expansion is going to take some massive damage, but the Mutalisks getting stormed. Looks like MaNa is doing some huge damage here.
Oh, wow, man. The Muta's taking huge, huge damage. Those Mutas are not going to be able to come and be a player in this next fight. More Lings and Banelings, where are they? Because they're out in the middle of the map. Not a single Ultralisk having been built just yet.
No. Oh no, Nerchio with the trap!
Oh, big surround coming here. The Banelings starting to roll. Oh, big Storm going down. The Banelings are very, very nullified there. Excellent blink control by MaNa.
Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
MaNa with the stunning control, blinking around, reforce fielding. But Nerchio with the macro and the upgrade.
Streaming in might actually clean up this force of MaNa. Very impressive.
An incredible exchange between these two players. Absolute beasts. Some of the highest caliber play we have seen yet in this tournament from anybody.
Look how broke Nerchio is right now, all the way down to just 100 minerals. Income tab shows he's still at 55 workers. He did lose an expansion, but he's secured another one at the same time. MaNa down to 40 harvesters, and here we go. Muta's back into the main base. There's nothing actually mining there.
MaNa can hardly produce in time. He actually does not even really have that many operational gateways. It looks like only 4. With all of the cannons at his expansion, he should be in good shape. We see more Mutalisks end up falling. MaNa with those spot-on blinks, but the chitinous plating is now coming up. I did indeed open up Wikipedia and figure out how to pronounce that for this match.
Chitinous plating, one of the most mispronounced upgrades in the world.
Yeah, chitinous, of course not. Every biologist is crying little tears.
We've got some more Mutas flying around as if to poke into the back of MaNa's base here. There's only 3 Stalkers, and I think they might die. Yes, indeed.
Wow, Nerchio being spot on with that placement. So many cannons here to defend. MaNa, excellent defender, well known for his defensive capabilities.
Yep, still hasn't been able to secure a 4th base, though, and that's going to be a bit of a problem for him. His natural is thinning pretty quickly. He's still got minerals in his main, but it's just he doesn't want to spread himself out so much, opening himself up to the mobility of these Mutas. We've got more Lings popping out, some Ultras popping out as well. So Nerchio's army getting to be pretty terrifying, Day 9.
And Nerchio is just playing absolutely stunningly, correctly sacrificed an expansion without any attempt to save it. Swept all the units onto the creep so that way he could surround from all angles, and MaNa, even with perfect force field blink defense against those Banelings, was not enough. Oh,
something died.
Short range teleport directly into a huge pack. That may have looked like a mistake, but I do believe MaNa is trying to blink directly onto the Banelings, get a couple of Banelings to blast on one single lone Stalker. It's a very, very underused tactic. It's kind of like the reverse Baneling bomb.
Archons, Storm, and Blink Stalkers. Ooh, there's an Infestor in that mix, though.
Oh, no, he looks like he's pulling back at a perfect angle. There's the Storm.
Great Storms there. Going to basically force Nerchio to disengage. Link's taking quite a bit of damage. Still no 4th base there, Nerchio, so you can't really attack into this choke. That would be suicidal.
Interesting to note, though, this positioning from MaNa is so focused on this 3rd base that his main has not even really gone back to being mined. That could be a good chunk of extra gas for MaNa to get those extremely expensive Templar later game tech. It looks like Nerchio has a very Archon, not friendly force. Can easily be decimated by a couple of Archons.
Yeah, Banelings and Zerglings die quickly to Archons. Ultralisks not doing too well against Archons either. Of course, Ultras have much more health, but they just deal so little damage to something like an Archon.
Now, this is the moment in time where I really feel like the Warp Prism would come in handy.
Yes.
I mean, we saw Liquid Hero do magnificent things to Liquid Chef in their round of 16 match. Storm dropping, picking off essential expansions with Zealots. MaNa looks like he's continuing to just manage the map, see what's up.
Jump.
White Stalkers cannot blink out in time. MaNa now trying to reposition. More Banelings coming up. Ooh, Nerchio. Looks like he's getting caught off at a bad angle.
Ooh, here we go.
Oh,
nice storms. Great feedbacks going down as well.
Oh my goodness, ripping apart all those essential damage-dealing Banelings, and look at MaNa ripping this Ultralisk army apart as though it is nothing.
Control there by MaNa, and Nerchio taking some big losses there. MaNa's army got beat up some as well, but that was a much, much more cost-effective engagement for the Protoss player.
Unreal control there by MaNa, and MaNa is just going for it. He is immediately going for this expansion. He sees that there's the fungal growths there. He's just going to go ahead and tank that damage. We see the Immortals now stepping into the fray, doing a ton of damage to this hatchery, but Nerchio, as you said, so responsible about pulling those drones, getting them into the fray. It looks like Nerchio will have enough units to be able to defend this. Couple more Templar stepping up. It looks like these forces are slowly dwindling in number. There's the blink back. Another nice storm. It looks like the Infestors do get picked off.
Ultralisk is just so strong. There's just nothing in the mix that kills that one Ultra. He's just chopping those Stalkers to death. Ling's going to come out and surround.
Oh, big storms picking everything off, but it looks like not enough time to morph into an Archon. The Stalkers use their blink only to retreat, and it looks like Nerchio does manage to keep his fourth, but at the cost of a lot of drones. 48 drones on the map for Nerchio, most of which are at the second and third bases.
Such a close game that we're seeing here. Day 9, 82 supply for a Protoss player. Nerchio up at about 100. Harvester count is virtually identical, so that means army size is going to favor Nerchio a little bit. The thing is, his army is very fragile. He's got like a single Ultralisk. Yeah, there's a second Ultralisk out somewhere. A single Roach, 3 Infestors, and the rest are all Zerglings. They're going to die very, very quickly to Storm and to Archons.
Or even just the Zealots. Look at that. Level 1 ground carapace. That means that these Zealots will kill those Zerglings in 2 shots. This one expansion is now finally going to be available for MaNa. Doing the good old GAC explosion. Ooh, Nerchio. He wants to try to kill the expansion. This is going to be an ultra dangerous move. Oh no. It looks like he's target firing it, and he does get the fungal growth
off. And it doesn't get canceled. That's a huge mistake. It's 400 minerals lost. And
no free damage upgrade on the Zerglings. The most forgotten upgrade in StarCraft 2 continues to remain but a memory.
You are correct, sir. 133 supply for Nerchio. He is starting to snowball a little bit here, up to 7 Infestors, 37 Lings still, 2 Ultralisks still. Oh, what are these Stalkers doing?
Oh my god, they're trying to pick off the Infestors to no avail. A couple fungal growths are going to pop down. It looks like the Storms do manage to land. The Infestors walk forward. Oh no, Nerchio with the 1A syndrome, accidentally losing all of those Infestors.
Yeah, I think this hatch might actually fall, Day 9.
Looks like we have 4 Ultralisks have just popped out onto the field, but the hatch is down, and it looks like MaNa has the anti-Ultralisk force. Those incredible immortal damage output. Look at how quickly this army evaporates. The smallest amount of units doing the most amount of damage possible.
Ultras are so bad against Immortals and Archons, and here we go one more time. Lings are going to help out quite a bit in this fight. The Archons are, or the Immortals are focus firing and tearing down these Ultras, with the Lings managing to give Nerchio just enough to pull through there. 72 supply remaining for MaNa, 92 for Nerchio, who is
who knows exactly where to go with those Lings.
He's going to shut down this expansion very, very quickly, and once again, MaNa's going to be left without a 4th base. MaNa is almost completely mined out, still with minerals in his main, though. He seems to have he really has forgotten about this.
Yeah, we do see that, he is literally not mining at all. This is some valuable gas that he is neglecting to gather up. Could mean 2-3 more Archons that could step into the fray. Zealot Archon, hyper-efficient mix. Very damage dealing, especially to this force of Ultralisk Zergling.
Yeah, the cheapness of the Lings is just so invaluable to Nerchio right now. The fact that he's able to muster up a relatively large army, 60 Zerglings, are very inexpensive, and in a situation like this, when minerals are precious and limited, Nerchio is just so fortunate to have access to that kind of a unit. 3 Lings at the top left-hand corner of the map will deny any sort of attempt at a 4th base. And MaNa, what are you going to do?
Wow, looks like he is chrono boosting out more Immortals. Really does need those units in the fray. I just keep coming back to this main, seeing all these juicy minerals. I mean, there's not that many here, but having 8 patches, you essentially have a fully running expansion for 2 to 3 minutes, which might just be all that MaNa needs.
Yeah, it would certainly give him enough money to take another base, which is something he has to be thinking about right now. Someday he's going to watch this replay and be like, that was more money that I could have had. Nerchio still maintaining about a 25 supply lead. 16 Zealots, 2 Immortals, 2 Archons, and a couple High Templar. This is a very, very dangerous army still. And if MaNa's gonna, or I'm sorry, if Nerchio is gonna kill it, he's got to be very intelligent about how he chooses to engage it.
Oh, Nerchio with a genius move,
Speaking
getting those Banelings up.
being intelligent, yeah, that's gonna be so good against the Zealots.
They will absolutely evaporate, especially with 1 fungal growth. Easily going to pick that apart. Nerchio versus MaNa. You said that this was probably going to be the biggest match of the round of 16. And that has definitely proved true thus far.
Yeah. My blatant fanboyism showing a little bit there. There's a storm. The Banelings and the Zealots actually do not get blown up.
Unbelievable play right there by MaNa, nailing those storms exactly as he needed to, hitting some big key feedbacks. But the Archons and Immortals.
Is it enough? Day 9, I think it might just barely be, and somehow MaNa going to stay alive for a little bit longer.
These Infestors are not quite fast enough, but the Zerglings surround, pick off the Archon, and there's the good game.
GG.
Wow, that was I think that was the most intense game of the entire tournament, perhaps even more so than Todd versus Sheth on Metalopolis. That was just a stunning, stunning performance by both those players. The flexibility of both of them to have, the Pylon and Evo Chamber block